Hi guys. Whew. It has been a very interesting morning. It is incredibly cold all of a sudden. Um it's been in like the 60s, 50s, at least in the mornings. So that part's nothing. However, for some reason it's incredibly bleh. It is incredibly windy. It is overcast, very very overcast. It is incredibly overcast. There's no sun, so it's freezing outside. And I know I'm not outside, but I have my sweater on because I'm so cold. And I love this. I've had this sweater for ever, probably 10 years. But it's like a burgundy velvet sweater. Kind of looks like pajamas, huh? And then it has a hood. I love it. Hi. But I don't need the hood on. Anyways, so let's get into week 23. No big news. I did go down to 7.5 for the first time since my 5 milligram injections. I could not get my prescription filled. Well, maybe if I would have waited longer, I could have. However, I waited 3 days and it was written on Wednesday, sent in. And the pharmacy told me that they've been ordering it every single day, but it's a crapshoot whether or not they get it. And by Friday, they still hadn't gotten it. So I said, okay, thank you. And I called around and I decided to try Costco because I'm always telling people, Costco, Sam's Club tend to have them. Um, the reason why I've avoided doing it was because I just didn't know what the transfer options would be. So I tried all of because I go to Albertsons pharmacy. So I tried all the Albertsons, the Tom Thumbs that were local, because I would just have to call my pharmacy, ask them to release my prescription. They would release it back into like their corporate, like computer systems, I guess. And then the new pharmacy would pick it up and be able to fill it. But I didn't want to go too far out. So I got to once I was done with the local ones, I said, I'm just gonna call Costco. Maybe the transfer will not be that difficult. So I called them. They said they have it. And it wasn't all I had to do was give them the name and the phone number and the address to my current pharmacy, the name of the prescription, my date of birth. Well, I haven't used a Costco pharmacy in a while, so I had to update my information. And then after that, I'm not sure when it was filled. It could have been filled even, within an hour, but I never got a message. So I was like, okay. And I was so tired by the end of that day, I really didn't care to go to Costco. So I fell asleep. By the time I woke up, Costco was closed. So first thing in the morning, I called them and I was able, they told me it was already filled. And I said, great. So we went in and picked it up. And then David kidnapped me and we went to Oklahoma. But I was like, I got to put my meds away. They got to go in the fridge. And he was like, I got you. He had brought our cooler that he put an ice pack in. He was like, it'll be okay in this, won't it? And I was like, yeah, well, I know that if we would have came home in the opposite direction of where we were going, if we would have came home, I would have chosen to stay home and I wouldn't have went with him. I was just so tired, but he was like, you just rest in the car. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to drive. Like we're not walking around, just relax in the car. And I was like, fine. But I haven't been doing much with him the last couple of weeks because I've just been so tired. And so I was glad that we had that solution. And then when we got about a couple hours out, I said, you know what? I don't know if that one single ice pack's going to be enough because it's kind of hot. It was like 80 degrees. And, the coolers are just going to be sitting in the car in the sun. So I was like, I don't know if it's going to be cold enough. So we pulled over. We had went to a rest stop that has a gift shop and we bought some dill pickled flavored pretzels. They're so good, but they were so expensive. They were like $9 or $10 for like a bag like this. I'll show you the bag. I was like, but they were so good. So I used that bag. I filled it up with ice and I put it in the cooler with my meds. They're fine. They made it just fine. But what my doctor did was prescribe me a 10 milligram. She told me, you still have a 7.5 milligrams at home. Why don't you try using the 7.5 for this month? You'll have enough because you have to skip the week of injection week to go get your hysterectomy. And then I'm going to see you in 4 weeks anyway, so you'll have an extra dose just in case. And if you're still liking the way that you feel, then I'll write you another prescription for 7.5 as opposed to the 10 next time. And then you'll just have an extra box of 10 when you need it, because eventually you'll need it. And I said, okay. So that's what we did. We just tried that, and I did it myself in the back of my left arm, and I will not do that again because that hurt like a mofo. Hurt. If I'm going to do it in my arm, David's going to have to do it because it bled. But it didn't, like, I didn't have any like real reactions other than it hurt when I did it and it bled, like kind of like a lot. So I had gotten all the way down to 311 and now I have swelling in my feet and ankles. So I don't know if it was swelling from our trip, which I already know road trips do stuff like that to me. But now I'm back up to 313.1, which means I'm 1 full pound down. Now, I am now to the point where I have to stop all of my supplements until after surgery. I'm not allowed to take anything, even the iron pills at all. The only thing that I'm allowed to take is my allergy pill, my daily allergy pill, my thyroid medication, and the spirulactin. I'm not allowed to take anything else. Nothing for the headaches, nothing for the migraines, no ibuprofens, no aspirins, no NSAIDs, nothing, for fear of like blood thinning, I guess, until after surgery. So I'm like, okay. So Thanksgiving is coming up and I wanted to go over a couple of things. I wanted to make sure that we are talking about how to enjoy Thanksgiving guilt-free. Thanksgiving is a very food-oriented celebration here in the States. Very food-oriented. And I know that there are a lot of people who just do not want to change the way that they eat. They are willing to eat less, but they don't want to change their comfort foods. They want to continue to eat those things, and that's fine. If that's the way that it works for you, great. That doesn't work for me. For a few reasons. One, I am severely insulin resistant. So I need to be a lot more thoughtful of the things that I consume because it does cause issues with my insulin resistance in a way that people who don't have that issue will not experience and will not understand. So I try to avoid severe insulin spikes throughout the day. I do have a continuous glucose monitor on, trying to just keep like these spikes, like these crazy spikes that happen. I mean, and all of them were still within my ranges, so it was still fine. But I'm trying to ensure that those spikes don't continuously happen every single day. I mean, they're going to happen. I mean, even Tums make me spike pretty bad. Like I'll go from being like 90 something or even 80 something. And suddenly if I take a Tums, I am like 132. So, medications can spike it, but I try to avoid having those spikes as much as possible, because I am trying to deal with my insulin resistance, not just, weight. I have been diagnosed as a type 2 diabetic, so my eating habits are probably going to be different than, just regular people. The number one thing is give yourself permission to enjoy Thanksgiving celebrations with your family and friends. Whatever that permission looks like, whether it's I give myself permission to enjoy this meal guilt-free, give myself permission to enjoy this dessert guilt-free, I give myself permission to enjoy this complete day guilt-free, I give myself permission to relax off of the reins a little guilt-free. I give myself permission to avoid activity today, like structured activity if we're spending the whole day with friends and family. Whatever that looks like for you, give yourself permission to do that. For me, what it looks like this year is different because I don't have the energy to make the meal, and it's just me and David, but I don't have the energy to make a full Thanksgiving preparation, so I'm not going to. We've talked about maybe going out to eat or buying something pre-made. We're not sure, but a couple of things that I think would be very beneficial for other people that I have done is I make sure to pay really close attention to my hydration. I make sure to stay incredibly hydrated, like even more so than normal. So like on Thanksgiving Day, if we were having a regular Thanksgiving celebration meal, I would try to get, 75 to 90% of my hydration in for the day prior to dinner. I try to eat a very protein heavy breakfast. Try to stick with I try to stick with just protein for breakfast and maybe even for lunch. And then when it comes to Thanksgiving dinner itself, then I would focus on the protein. So I would get my turkey, ham, whatever. And then I would focus on the lower glycemic vegetables that I wanted to serve myself. So say there was squash or mushrooms, I would select those first. Then if I wanted to have, say, mashed potatoes or stuffing, then I would choose those last and make them just smaller portions. And just remind myself to eat until I'm satisfied, not completely like stuffed, not full. But if I put more food on my plate than my stomach can handle, I'm going to feel pressure to eat it. So I will serve smaller portions, like very small portions, as if I were feeding a small child. And guess what? If I want more, I could get up and serve more. Nobody is saying that just because you serve yourself this smaller portion, that you can't get up and get more if you want more. If you decide that, you know what, that wasn't enough mashed potatoes, I need more, get up and get more. And do it guilt-free because you gave yourself permission to enjoy what it is that you are doing today. Then my biggest goal is to make sure that I plan the following days, at least breakfast. Again, another very protein heavy meal. So maybe some eggs, maybe, I don't know, even more turkey, whatever you want to do, but just don't let the celebration meal continue for days and days and days and days. If you guys are anything like me, the next day would have also consisted with another plate of whatever it is that we ate the day before. And I'm giving myself permission to enjoy this meal. That doesn't mean that every single meal after that has to look the same. We don't gain weight because of one meal. I gain weight because I say, screw it, I already messed up today. I'm just, I already messed up this meal. I'm just, the rest of the day is gone anyways. I might as well just keep eating however. And then the next day comes around, well, I messed up yesterday. Might as well just keep doing today. Like those are the kind of habits that I have created for myself, which I'm trying to learn to stop doing. The day before Thanksgiving and the day after Thanksgiving, go for a good walk. Get yourself in a very hearty walk, a run, time on your treadmill, time on your elliptical, whatever it is that you do. If you strength train, give yourself a good workout on those 2 days and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. I think the biggest takeaway from this should be to give yourself permission to just enjoy the day. There doesn't need to be any guilt involved. All you have to do is enjoy it and move on. I hope you guys have a very, very happy Thanksgiving. I am super, super, super grateful for you. I hope you know that. I hope you know that you guys are on my, what are you grateful for this year list. I would love to hear all about how your week is going, goods, bads, uglies. If you have any ideas for how to enjoy Thanksgiving guilt-free, I would love to hear all about it. Go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section down below. I would also love to hear, again, all about your week. Let's leave a turkey down in the comments for this week's emoji. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you soon. Digital hugs. Bye.